Hi everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel Dr. Srinivas Medical Concepts and my FB page Dr. Srinivas Concepts. This is Dr. Srinivas, neurologist from Andhra Pradesh, India. I am also the medical author of the book Focused Neurology. Today we are going to talk about a very interesting topic, border zone infarcts and balance syndrome. Border zone infarcts, otherwise known as watershed infarcts and balance syndrome. What are these border zone infarcts? Border zone infarcts are the infarcts between two major vessels of the brain. Border zone infarcts are the infarcts between the borders of the two major vascular territories of the brain. It could be the anterior cerebral artery and middle cerebral artery, or middle cerebral artery and posterior cerebral artery. So it is basically the border of two major vessels getting affected. So border zones, areas between vascular territories, the border zones are especially vulnerable to hypertension due to their distance from the main arterial supply. So imagine this is the anterior cerebral artery and this is the middle cerebral artery. The proximal areas of the arteries get good blood supply. For example, we'll talk the condition of hypotension. When there is hypotension, a decreased or a slow flow of the blood, the proximal part of the anterior cerebral artery and the middle cerebral artery get good blood supply. But as they go distally, the blood flow starts slowing down, and as it comes to the distal most part, the blood totally stops. The blood flow totally stops, cessation of the blood flow. So it is the border zone between the two major arteries get affected. We can give an example of a water tap and a 5-floored building, apartments. When the tap which was switched on suddenly is switched off, the distal most part, that is the 5th floor, does not get water in the first place. Then the 4th floor, then the 3rd, then the 2nd, then the 1st, then the ground. So it goes to show that the distal most parts of a vessel is the one which is going to get affected first when the blood supply is slowed down, like hypotension. The proximal parts get good blood supply, but as they go to the distal parts of the vessel, the blood flow slows down, and at the end point, at the distal most point, it stops. So this is known as the watershed infarct or border zone infarcts. So basically the border zone infarcts are two types. One, the anterior border zone infarct between the anterior cerebral artery and the middle cerebral artery. It is otherwise known as man in a barrel syndrome. The second is the posterior border zone infarct. This time it is between middle cerebral artery and posterior cerebral artery. The syndrome which it produces is known as balance syndrome. So the anterior border zone infarct is a border zone infarct, the border zone being between the anterior cerebral artery and the middle cerebral artery. It is known as anterior watershed infarct, otherwise known as man in a barrel syndrome. The border zone which gets infarcted between the middle cerebral artery and the posterior cerebral artery is known as posterior border zone infarct or posterior watershed infarct. The example being the syndrome being balance syndrome. Now let's see each of these syndromes, the anterior watershed infarct and the posterior watershed infarct. In the anterior border zone or watershed infarct, to understand this, we need to understand the motor homunculus. The body parts are represented in the brain not according to the quantity. It is according to the quality and the delicacy of the movement. The more the delicate the movement is, the more representation in the brain. For example, thorax we hardly move. There's any functional significance of the thorax, and therefore the representation of the thorax is very little in the brain. But we keep using our fingers for all kinds of purposes, the face, facial expressions, and therefore the representation of the face and the fingers are more in the brain. The leg area has got a moderate representation because we use it only for walking. So the motor homunculus, the representation of the body parts on the brain, the motor part, the movement which is represented in the brain is known as motor homunculus. If we see the motor homunculus, the leg area is placed in the medial part of the frontal lobe, which is supplied by the anterior cerebral artery. So the anterior cerebral artery, the center of the anterior cerebral artery supplies the leg area. But when it comes, the leg area, leg area is in the medial part of the frontal lobe, then comes the hips, the thighs and the trunk. They go into the lateral part. So it is now not in the center of the anterior cerebral artery. It is in the peripheral part of the anterior cerebral artery, otherwise known as the border area of the anterior cerebral artery. Then comes the shoulder arm, the face, and then below that is the hand, and below that is the face. Like the leg area is in the main or center part of the anterior cerebral artery, the face is in the center part of the middle cerebral artery, and therefore they get good blood supply, the face and the leg. But between the face and the leg area, namely the thighs, the shoulder, the arm, the thighs, shoulder, arm, these three areas constitute the border zone between the anterior cerebral artery and the middle cerebral artery. And therefore, if there were to be hypotension, congestive cardiac failure or cardiac dysfunction, the blood is flowing, but it is slowly flowing, and therefore the proximal part or the central part of the artery gets good blood supply, but the peripheral part does not get good blood supply, and the peripheral most part does not get blood supply at all. And therefore in conditions like hypotension, the anterior cerebral artery center part and the middle cerebral artery center part gets good blood supply, but the border zone between the anterior cerebral artery and the middle cerebral artery, namely the thighs, the shoulder and the arm, they don't get good blood supply and they get infarcted. So the face they are able to move well, the legs, the toes, the foot, they are able to move well. Only the hip, the thighs, the shoulder and the arm they are not able to move. So it is like a man in a barrel, a man in a cylinder, where he is able to only move the face and the legs, but not the hips, shoulder or the arms. He is like this, in this posture is like this. So it is superbly compared to as that of a man in a barrel or man in a cylinder syndrome. So they can't move the shoulder, the thighs or the hips and the arms. So this is the anterior border zone water infarct. The areas of the motor homunculus most appear are those related to the most affected are those related to the shoulder, arm and the thighs. The shoulder, arm and the thighs are the most affected. The face area, which is in the central portion of the MCA territory, and the leg area, which is in the central portion of the anterior cerebral artery, are spared, and therefore the distribution of weakness have been compared to as that of a man in barrel syndrome. So the thighs, the shoulder, the arm gets affected. This is man in barrel syndrome or anterior watershed infarct. Now let's see the posterior border zone or posterior watershed infarct. So here the border zones between the middle cerebral artery and the posterior cerebral artery are affected. So basically it is the parieto-occipital cortex which gets affected. The parieto-occipital cortex is basically meant for the spatial orientation, where the visual agnosia produced by the parieto-occipital disconnection is where of the field gets affected. If temporo-occipital cortex gets affected, what of the field gets affected? So here there is a posterior watershed infarct or posterior border zone infarct between the MCA and PCA. So basically the parieto-occipital cortex gets affected. Where of the visual field gets affected? It's a kind of visual agnosia where gets affected. So the space gets affected. So it produces a classic syndrome, very interesting syndrome known as balance syndrome. Balance syndrome is a triad: asimultaneognosia, optic ataxia and oculomotor apraxia. What is simultaneognosia? Simultaneognosia is integration of the center with that of the periphery. Normally when I'm looking at the camera, not only at the camera but even the periphery of the field of the vision also I'm able to see and integrate it. So if I look at the forest, I look the forest at its entirety. Whereas persons who got Balance syndrome, who got posterior watershed infarct or posterior border zone infarct, they cannot look the forest in its entirety. They'll be focusing on a tree or some other small creature in the entire forest. They cannot integrate the center of the gaze with the periphery. This is known as asimultanagnosia. Very fascinating. So if they are asked to look at the forest, they'll be only focusing on the tree. They miss the forest for the tree. But how do we test clinically? We put big A's. We draw big A's and then we draw small A's. And we ask the person who's got Balance syndrome, who's probably suffering from Balance syndrome, to encircle A's. Generally, our tendency is to look at the big A's and then encircle, because they are appearing big and it is easy for us to localize and encircle. But here it is very fascinating. Persons who are suffering from Balance syndrome, though they look at A, they think it is not A, because the vision falls in the center of the gaze. They cannot integrate center with the periphery of the vision. So when they look at the A, they'll be looking at either the slanting line or the horizontal line, and then they think it is not A. They are not able to integrate the center with the peripheral of the vision. But when they look at the small A's, it falls into their center of gaze, and they know it is A, and then they encircle. So very fascinating phenomenon. Generally, our tendency is to encircle big sized A's and not small sized A's. But here a paradox occurs in persons suffering from Balance syndrome. They encircle small A's because they fall within the center of the gaze, but they are not able to encircle the big A's because they don't think they are A's. They look either at the slant line or the horizontal line and they assume that it is not A. So very fascinating syndrome. Bedside we can test it. Bedside we can test the simultanagnosia. What they suffer we call as asimultanagnosia, by putting A's, by making A's and asking them to encircle it. This is one component. The second component is oculomotor apraxia. Here they have defects in an orderly visual motor scanning of the environment. Patients are unable to look at an object and then look at the examiner's nose and then look at the object. The visual motor scanning gets affected, oculomotor apraxia. If you ask them to look at the one object and they look at the examiner's nose and then back, they are not able to scan visual motor sequence. So the visual motor sequence or scanning gets affected. This is known as oculomotor apraxia. Then we have a third entity, optic ataxia, where they have defects in accurate manual reaching towards the visual target. Ask the patient to reach a manual target or touch the parts of a image manually. They are not able to visually reach the target using the hands. This is known as optic ataxia. So these are the three components of Balance syndrome: optic ataxia, oculomotor apraxia and asimultanagnosia, which constitutes Balance syndrome. So very, very fascinating syndrome, especially the asimultanagnosia. So in border zone infarct, the border zones between the two major vessels get affected, either ACA or MCA, what you call as anterior watershed infarct, or MCA and PCA, what you call as posterior watershed infarct. Anterior watershed infarct characteristically produces man in a barrel syndrome, and posterior watershed infarct characteristically produces Balance syndrome. So such a fascinating concepts we have in border zone infarcts. I hope you have enjoyed listening to this lecture as much as I have enjoyed delivering it. If you have any suggestions or comments, kindly post onto my YouTube channel. But please like and subscribe my YouTube channel, Dr. Srinivas Medical Concepts, and my FB page, Dr. Srinivas Concepts. Thank you. Bye.